Good evening, practicum friends. All right, so this week we're going to be looking at cognition. And what I thought would be fun was to kind of look at science in the classroom. I think sometimes that's missing. And I want to make sure that you guys have something about science in the classroom. So again, the domain is cognitive and general knowledge. Science and math typically fall under this domain. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is answer those questions. Do you even have an area in the classroom dedicated to exploration slash science? So exploration is also something to think about. If you do, please tell me, what do you have in that area? So it doesn't have to be again called the science area. Maybe you have a sensory table. That is also considered exploration. So tell me what's in there, okay? How often do the children go in that area? So then start noticing it. Um, and even if it's just a day of it, just kind of notice, how often do the kids go there? What do they do while they're there? And then please take a picture of your science area, your exploration area in the classroom, and send that to me. Okay? So that's your observational portion of understanding, is there science in the classroom? Next, let's explore a little bit about how science can go. So I've created this little checklist for you. And I've even got infants included in here. All right. So look at some of these things and reflect in your classroom. Do you have some children who just sit back and observe others before they try things out? How many of your kids are like that? So talk about it and then maybe no. Do you have some children who jump in right away and want to try things out? And again, I'm looking at personalities because that's going to determine whether kids are going to try something new out right away. Are they more of an observer? And again, I'm wanting you to get to know the kids. I'm wanting you to observe and understand what's happening in your classroom. So talk to me a little bit about that. Then here's where we break things up a little bit. In the infant classroom, do you have children who show an awareness to differences? Differences being these things, not differences in other ways that we typically as adults talk about. Okay. So do your children show an awareness to a difference in light, a difference in textures, a difference in sound or voices? And then talk about that in here. Okay. Those of you who have toddlers and older, we're going to scoot down a little bit further. Is there a time that you, your cooperating teacher, had the children comparing things? And this can be anything. Is there a time that you and your cooperating teacher had the children make a hypothesis or make a prediction? So I want you to think about that. And if you're in a classroom where, you're the student teacher, this isn't your typical classroom, this is something you can ask your cooperating teacher. So is there a time that the children were able to try something out without you or your cooperating teacher telling them or modeling how to do it? Materials were just provided and the children had to figure out how to use the materials on their own. So teachers don't teach or direct the children what to do. Talk about a time that happened over here. All right. Continuing on. So, what are some of the things that you can comment on from that checklist? Kind of summarize that checklist so that you can tell me about it. So you don't have to turn in the checklist for me, but I'd like for you to at least, you're using that to gauge you, to come up with ideas and things and get to know your students. And then I want you to comment it over here. Okay. Evaluate what you learned from your checklist that you filled out. All right. Think about what you've learned in your STEM class and how you can incorporate science in your classroom. So, could you offer a science experience using the sensory table? Could you offer a science experience where the children need to predict or hypothesize things? Could you create a comparison chart? Could you offer the children new challenging materials and see how they problem solve using those materials? Remember, you nor the co-op tell the children what to do. Let the children explore and don't correct them. So I want you to think of one of these four ways that you could create an opportunity to offer science in the classroom. And again, think about what you talked about and what you did in your STEM class. So you're going to think about it. You're going to create something to make that happen. And then you're going to tell me, what did you decide on? What is that experience going to be? So be descriptive. This is kind of where instead of creating an entire um, plan sheet and an entire experience plan, you're just going to summarize it for me right here. So I need to see a lot of written material, a lot of writing down here so that I can see what it is that's going to be happening. After you tell me about it, you're going to offer that experience to the kids. So provide a picture of the experience. And again, for some of you, if you're not allowed to put the kids in it, take a picture of it and maybe the arms of the children are in it or the backs of the children are in it, or maybe you're in the picture. I'd love to see you guys too. Okay. So provide a picture of the science experience and then reflect on it. What was the children's reaction? What did they engage in? And then, of course, you as a teacher reflect. You as a teacher, how did you enjoy doing this? Were you surprised by the children's reactions? Would you do anything differently? So enjoy offering some science into your classroom. We will talk again soon, friends. Ta-ta for now.